I know, it's great. Today we're
Great.
talking about self-esteem.
Self-esteem. Yeah. Where do we begin with
Everything
that?
about life essentially is about our inner verse, right? Meaning inner verse, many things. Inner verse as in inner universe, inner verse as in the narrative that goes on within us about, you know, the way we think, the thoughts that we have about ourselves and about the way we perceive the world.
Mm-hmm.
So self-esteem is about me. The way people talk about me or about the way they see the world is a total reflection on themselves.
Absolutely. I was always told to make sure I look after myself, and you're getting a bit fat. You're getting saddlebags.
Wow.
I was like 15. Like, who cares? Like, I'm supposed to be enjoying my life. So it's amazing because as I grow up, and then people would be like, "You have an amazing figure," and I'm like, "Ugh, it's horrible. Ugh, it's fat. Ugh, it's this. Ugh, I hate that." Schools, yeah. And I used to hate them. I had good, strong shoulders from gymnastics, and now I love them. I'm like, yes. A super strong feminine body.
Exactly. And it's like perception, like feminine, being feminine. What is being feminine about? You know, I mean, essentially for me, being feminine, being masculine, it's all about energy and it's all about aspects of ourselves, right? It's not about what's on the outside.
Absolutely. I feel like, you know when I feel most feminine, when I feel sexy. And that could be anything. That could be like a day of not shaving my legs, or not a day, a whole like not shave my legs, but my hair feels glossy, or I feel really intelligent or something. You know, that's how I would feel sexy. It's not necessarily, it's kind of like the feeling on the inside. I just feel like I bossed that today.
Yeah, I also feel sexy when I'm feeling vulnerable sometimes, when I'm really speaking my truth gently.
Yeah.
I also feel incredibly sexy when I'm feeling physically strong.
I agree.
I go to a boxing class and I'm really letting all that angst go, and I can feel the blood pumping through my body and I feel my muscles really flexed. I also feel incredibly sexy.
I agree. It's totally crazy. Like before, feeling sexy would be like, you know, having all my makeup done, you know, I'd be wearing a certain outfit that would just ooze sex appeal or something. But that doesn't feel like that for me now. Like, it's so funny. And I think that is because I've been building on my self-esteem by telling myself that I am enough, like who I am inside. And, you know, doing things that feel difficult for me, sort of like building up that sort of like integrity about myself. That's where I feel helped develop what I think about me. Because, you know, people, they can tell you what they think about you. And if you choose to accept and believe it, then you also believe it too. And so doing things that have been difficult, like lifting heavy weights or getting up early in the morning, or, you know, sticking to a healthy regime, things that ask you to do, to be kind of strong in a way. Like, that's how I feel like for me, I've built good self-esteem. Because I believe in myself more.
In a nutshell, it's about showing up for you, whatever the circumstance, right?
Yeah.
Whatever circumstance, show up for you. And however that looks, because at the end of the day, this is the thing about language, you know, we look for words to describe a situation, describe how we feel, but not essentially every single time the word is limiting. You know, because we are so much more than one word or a string of words in a sentence. So it's really about showing up, just showing up wherever you are in that
like
space.
letting your feelings come up, surface, and just accepting them, like wherever you're at. I've got a cat here as well. It's like a little party. We've got a puppy, we've got a cat, a baby. It's all happening. I mean,
when we show up for ourselves and whatever that might look like, it's back to the connecting. It's back to just connecting with who you are.
I agree.
You see, like look at Indy. She's just showing up.
Yeah, totally.
Now I got some hair on me.
You do have some hair on you. You've got a bit wet hands. But yeah, and it's funny because when you look at kids, they don't have any sort of like lack of belief in themselves.
So self-esteem is something that requires commitment and really is about reflecting on the inner verse, right? It's not about what people think of me and how they see me, because how they see me and how they think of me is actually a total reflection of their own narrative.
Mm-hmm.
It's a reflection of themselves, not me. So how do we build self-esteem?
Well, I mean, I think like you say, showing up for yourself. And for me, how I build my own self-esteem throughout the day, because sometimes it has to be daily, is I'll do things like having a cold shower. Like, I don't like a cold shower, but I know if I can have like 3 seconds in the cold shower that I did it. So when it comes to sort of like sticking to other daily habits of maybe not, you know, speaking my truth, or, you know, like having the balls to speak up for yourself, I will think about, I had a cold shower this morning, so I got this. Like, if I could do that this morning, it's like sets me up. But that's how I build my self-esteem. And it is, like you say, showing up for yourself. Even going to the gym, like sometimes you don't feel like going to the gym, but you require that sort of love, like put into yourself. And when you've done it, then you build your self-esteem, because you did something that was difficult to do and you didn't feel like doing it. You did it and you got great results. Whether it's just orphans, isn't it?
What about the flip side of that? What about if I really feel like I don't want to go to the gym today?
I mean, also, if you truly know that, you know what, actually I just need a good sleep, then do that. Because sometimes those are the most important things, aren't they? Like exercise, healthy food, fresh air, the sun, good sleep.
So we talk about showing up for ourselves. That's how we can cultivate and foster and nurture our self-esteem, right? It's about also spending time with ourselves, really listening to what it is that we need.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you, but I have days when I feel guilty for not doing anything. And because there is a perception within me that I'm lazy. But that's actually not true. Like this whole thing about laziness has a value of self-worth there as well. It's like, I'm not worth the rest.
Yeah. You feel guilty. You feel guilty because, like, who's watching? No one's watching.
Who's watching, right? Secondly, even if they were watching, we go back to this. Whatever they have to say about it, they are not living your life.
They are not paying your bills. They are not dealing with your stresses. They are not feeding you.
They are not feeling what is going on in your body. Your exhaustion.
It's true. And I feel like I've only sort of come to realize these things at this point now, like since having a child, because obviously now my situation is not about me. Like for the first, I don't know, I think now I'm moving forward, but the first 2.5 years, I'm literally like feeding them, changing their bum, you know, worrying about everything.
Changing their bum?
Yeah.
You mean,
not
how many bums does she get?
So funny. It's a terrible joke.
Love it.
But yeah, but like silly things that you're just always worried about that. And now, you know, I've come to realize, like, it doesn't matter what my parenting skills are. Like, you know, what do I think about them? Because whatever someone else thinks about them, family, friends, it doesn't matter. They're not dealing with my situation. So it's really not that important right now. And ultimately, you always let the opinions of others kind of like feed into your brain. That becomes your own self-talk. And you know how you said before about, you know, showing up for yourself. Sometimes it is sitting down and journaling and just saying, like, what is going on in there? Like, what have I been telling myself today? So that you have to then understand, you know, whose voice is that? Because it's not really yours. It's probably someone else's. Yeah. And you're it. So just trying to erase that slightly, replace it with your own empowering affirmation to yourself. So.
Yeah, totally. And I think it also helps to give the framing, you know, of the outerverse when people have make comments maybe on parenting or even on yourself that ultimately, you know, again, because it's based through their own perception and their own filters, is to, you either disregard it or you just think, okay, that's how they see the world, or always hold true in yourself that our innate nature as human beings, right? As human beings, you look at every child, there is no natural evilness in us, you know. So there's always something either going on with that person, or perhaps we're missing their perspective. So it does come from a good place.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean,
and that good place could be the fact that they're also exposing their vulnerability in the way that they're making making a comment about you, you know. Or maybe like mom or cousin or best mate makes a comment about your parenting, let's say, and it hits a raw nerve for you. We can even sit with the fact that, oh, okay, that's my perception of them, that it's hitting a raw nerve for me, a raw nerve for me, But ultimately, I know that they're coming from a good place, that they want the best for me. That's why they're giving me this piece of advice. It's like you go behind the words. Where's it coming from? Where's it coming from? Always like becoming the observer.
Yeah. It's definitely like, it does take so, like, not, doesn't take so much, but what, obviously when you start to become like an observer, then you see things so much more differently. But I feel like myself, I've definitely slipped into being an observer, to then falling back into the whole judgment. And I'm like, I want to observe, don't want to judge. And then you're like, oh, I'm judging. Oh, stop judging. Why are you judging? You're such a, and you have a real hard time with yourself because of, you know, where you've placed yourself. But even that is like, stop being upset with yourself.
Yeah, exactly. We can go down a rabbit hole of thoughts, and at the end of the day, yeah, at the end of the day, that's also a little bit of self-care there, like how we go into this tornado of thoughts. And it's amazing, you know, we live in this world of instant gratification. What's next, what's next, what's next, what's next? But if we're not moving and we're not thinking to the next thing, which is actually also means that we're not living in the present moment, we see that as being lazy. We see that when we're resting, actually when just the ability to be able to sit on your seat and feel your butt, feel your feet on the floor, feel the gentle change in direction of the breeze. It's not being lazy. It's being absolutely present in the moment and still.
Yeah. And it's funny because when you say that, I think of, like, you know, the monks that are sitting under the trees, you know, just observing life, being present there. We would never think they're lazy, would we? But like you say, they're doing exactly that. They're just there, being present, feeling, sensing, observing.
And being connected, actually. Connected to the universe. And that's what universe means. Universal is one, right? You become one. I'm no longer separate. I'm not Sa sitting at this table, or I'm not Sa in nature looking at the trees. I'm just here with the trees.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And that, if I were to bring it in line with what we're talking about, self-esteem is being able to say, I'm worth this space. I'm deserving of this time to be at one with my environment. I'm worthy of that. I'm worth a half an hour of doing nothing, which in itself isn't doing, is still doing something because you're doing nothing.
Yeah.
But I'm worthy of it because I'm part of this amazing universe. Yeah, I'm connected with it.
And it's all an experience. Like when you say that, you know, you are, you know, you're part of everything. That's true. Like we can all be in the same room and sit at different angles and have completely different perspective on what happened in the same room, you know? Like, so we've all got our own different light to shine. So yeah, 100%. You're just living your part to the whole facet life. It's just amazing. So
I love that example you've just given. And all those 100 million different perspectives make the macro perspective. Right? Yep. Micro and macro. Beautiful. Like a jigsaw puzzle. Yep. All those little pieces.
Yeah.
Basically different perspectives.
Yeah.
Together they make this amazing.
Yeah. I love jigsaw puzzles.
I'm going to go get one.
I've already got several. I love doing them. They're so much fun. I love them as a kid as well. Because like you say, when you're building that picture, you know what it's going to look like. But when you've put all the bits in and it just looks like I built that, put it all together, it looks so beautiful. But it definitely gives a positive perspective on life.
Sorry, say that again? I missed you.
A positive perspective on life when you think about it. Like,
yes. And
we're all needed for this whole journey. Like everyone is important. There is no one to, you know, to not include.
And we have so much to learn from each other.
I like how we digressed from self-esteem and now we're talking about everybody. We need everyone.
But this is about self-esteem.
Yes.
Because this is about saying I am worth. I have self-worth. My perspective, my presence matters. Message us on our YouTube channel. We've got questions. I want to explore more. And we'll see you next time.
See you next time.